Okay, so my goal in this presentation is try to show you some relationship between interoperate and the European health data space, and to understand what is the relationship, at least in our view, between our initiatives and the evolutions of the healthcare systems in these years. So I will start to think together with you about this evolution that we had in the last year. So I will try to talk a little bit of the past, of the present, and also something about the future. So starting from the past, in the past, the processes for the healthcare and the medicine in general was mainly based on a waterfall process. In this waterfall process, the information flows linearly from medical research to medical practice. We have controlled clinical trials that produces new knowledge from controlled data that are produced by this. This medical knowledge usually is converted when after sufficient evidence is collected, is converted in clinical practice guidelines that then are used by the physician to take care of their patients. So we have this evolution in the past years from a medicine that was based on a more informal approach to an evidence-based medicine. In this way, in this practice, anyway, the patients are still mainly passive receivers of treatment. Main technical decisions are taken just by physician. As I said, the knowledge the knowledge used by the physician is mainly based on controlled clinical data. By controlled clinical data, I mean clinical data that are produced by controlled clinical trials. And the data is mainly controlled by the healthcare providers. Now we are in a process of evolution. We had a strong digitalization. We are seeing lots of applications that support the patient and the healthcare professionals in the different phases of the healthcare treatments. So we have seen mobile personal health record, clinical decision support systems that support the physician in their decision, telemonitoring applied to different topics, different diseases, for example, to breast cancer, but this is just an example from one past project. Similarly, we have now applications. I'm waiting that the slides changes, but I don't know if to press the button again. I try. Okay, no, too much. Okay, no, it's difficult. Anyway, so there was another sample, just the app for the coaching, so to help the patient also in the prevention phases, not just in the treatment phase. And this digitalization is now the basis for creating a new kind of healthcare systems that are basically, let me go, that are basic a learning health system, a digital learning health system. In this new kind of health system, the model is not anymore a linear process, a waterfall process, but the information flows circularly and continuously from research to practice to research again. In the traditional model, the medical knowledge was produced mainly by these controlled clinical data coming from clinical trials. In this new model, we start to exploit also real-world clinical data, also clinical data that comes from the daily practice of the healthcare professional. As we said, we start to see the usage of the Internet of Things, so sensors that helps to monitor the patients and to produce other real-world clinical data. We started to see the usage of digital therapeutics. Physicians start to recommend to the patient not just drugs, but also digital, also software that helps the patients in the treatment phases or also in the prevention phases. So now the researchers extract medical knowledge, not just from controlled clinical data, but also from real-world clinical data. And year after year, the guidelines used by the physicians will start to recommend not just drug, but also these digital therapeutics. So we will have these new clinical medical practice guidelines that will be based also on this real-world data and for the recommendation of digital therapeutics. So it's changed a little bit how data are produced and are controlled. So now they are controlled not anymore just by the healthcare provider, but also from the digital platform providers that are supporting the healthcare organizations in these transformations. As said, the knowledge comes from any clinical data, and people are more involved also in the prevention phases. Now, just 2 words on the future. In the future, we will see a presence more important of the artificial intelligence. While now the artificial intelligence is used especially for supporting the physicians and have still a passive role in give more information to the physician to take their decisions. In future, the artificial intelligence could take a more active role, a more proactive role, supporting also the patients in their daily decisions. Again, also for the prevention, not just for supporting during the treatment. In this future view that is already happening, these artificial intelligence tools will start to exploit not only clinical data controlled from real-world clinical practice, but more in general, holistic data. So not just data coming from the clinical practice, but also data monitored by the sensor that comes from the monitoring of the environment, any other information that could be related to the health of the people. And in this perspective, the artificial intelligence will be used not only to support the researchers to create new knowledge, but we'll start to see medical knowledge produced directly from the artificial intelligence. We will see artificial intelligence tools that will produce executable models that goes to fuel directly the clinical decision support systems without an intermediate intervention by human. So we have a new situation where we have an ecosystem where there is the patient, where there is the artificial intelligence, where are the healthcare professionals that in some way are peer one to the other. The patient will become more independent. It will be more concentrated on the prevention. It will be supported in the self-management of his own health, both by the artificial intelligence and by the healthcare professional. So the patient will have a more active role, but also the artificial intelligence will have a more active role to support the patients. As said, the knowledge will be produced at least partially directly from the artificial intelligence. And again, the people will have a more active role also in controlling their data and in taking their health decision. So, assuming here that this is the future, this is a challenging journey. First of all, this transformation is possible in a positive way only if it is regulated. And this is of course, the goal of all the regulations that the European Commission is producing in this year. Because if we don't regulate this transformation, we risk to move from a situation that is very healthcare centered, as we said at the beginning, to a situation that is not citizen centered, but there will be platform centered, where the control will be under the owner of the digital platform used by the patients. And this will be a high risk for the privacy of the citizen, of course, would limit the power of the citizen, because this platform, we know, are able to influence the decisions of the people. Would be a safety risk, because people will start to trust tools that are not based on sufficiently strong evidence, on sufficiently strong knowledge. So we have to pay attention that people and also healthcare professionals does not rely too much on tools that are not sufficiently trustable. And there is the risk of inequalities, because of course, if this evolution is controlled totally by the owner of a digital platform, we have the risk that certain portion of the population will receive an healthcare that is better of another portion of the population, just because the first kind, some people is able to pay a higher price to receive more sophisticated tools. So we need to regulate these. I will say, I take some minutes more. We need to regulate these. As said, the regulation from the European Commission play an important role in this, and the European health data space is a key progress with respect to this. We need open specifications for assuring that all these tools that will be produced agree to common rules and also to common technological criteria. And this is the role of interoperate. We want to provide such an open specification to avoid, to reduce the risk that this evolution is controlled completely by the owner of the digital platform. We need a certification process. People need to trust this application. Both the healthcare professional, but also the citizen need to trust the application they will be used. So it's needed to certificate these applications, to indicate to the people what are the applications they can trust. And this is not sufficient. Some of these applications will need trusted services that probably should provided directly by Europe, or by the European Commission, or by trusted organizations that are trusted by the European government. If we will able to to satisfy all these constraints to realize this vision, we will have lots of advantages for the people. For example, using these artificial intelligence tools and the IoT, the people will be able to identify subtle behavior patterns that usually they are not able to describe to their healthcare physician. Often in our daily life, we do errors, but we don't describe these errors to our physician. So the prevention does not work because the important information is not identified. The IoT and the artificial intelligence can help to monitor in new ways the people and to identify these risky partners. We can imagine a lot of other advantages. For example, if we put the privacy in the right way in this application, there will be more, the people will be more willing to share information and also to ask for a support. Often people does not ask us support to their physician because they are worried to expose part of their life. They don't want to do it. If these applications are able to protect the privacy of the people, and in any case to make them in contact with the professionals, human professionals or artificial intelligence tools that are trustable, these kind of people could receive more help that they don't receive now. And there are lots of other possibilities, like receiving more information on services that are available on but that the people does not know that exist. So all these to say now just 2 words, waiting for the next slide. Just 2 words on the, I'm waiting. I don't know if to press again. Okay, so this is probably the most important point that we have in common with the European data space, is the architectural trait that we already have seen well describing. An important part of the article trait is natural person shall have the right to receive an electronic format in an electronic copy of their data in an electronic health record exchange format, in the European electronic health record exchange format. This is the main contribution that Interoperate can give to this initiative. This is exactly our purpose. The profiles that we defined can be a good basis for, can be a contribution for the definition of this common European electronic data format. We hope that My Health at EU, that My Data at EU in the future will adopt the FHIR standard, so that FHIR profiles like the one defined by Interoperate can be exploited. Okay. It's not just a matter of defining a common format. We have to define common APIs for the exchange of data, and especially for the exchange of data with the citizen. This is another contribution that the Interoperate can give to the European data space. We have this open specification of APIs that are already based on the HL7 FHIR standard. This is a list of advantages of Interoperate, but I want to skip it to gain some minutes. And some other word on the relationship. I've already said about the data. An important aspect of the APIs that we defined is that they help to satisfy the requirements of data minimization, because FHIR allow to exchange not just entire document, but also single fragments that are called resources that are very specific. So there is the possibility to have an high control on the quantity of data that are exchanged to assure the data minimization. Our profiles defines important aspects for a cross-border scenario. It's important to represent information metadata that support the translation, and this is something that we have tried to do in our file profiles. It's important to represent in a trustable way the provenance information. This is another contribution that we can give to the European health data space. And as you have seen the previous presentation, we have specified a standard, a profile also for describing the research studies, the protocols of the research studies. Next slide. In the next slide, there is some other relationship that exists between Interoperate and the European health data spaces. According to the European health data space, a data holder is any natural or legal person which is an entity or body in the healthcare sector. So the actual proposal recognizes that the holder of the health data is not necessarily an organization. It can be also a natural person. This is exactly our assumption. The data subjects, the patients, are the main natural person in the health sector. Interoperates provides a model for natural persons that are the data holders. So what Interoperates tries to do is to make the patient, the citizen, a first-class actors in this new ecosystem that should have as data holders, not the individual. In our view, the setup accepts that the exchange of data must use a secure processing environment that are trustable from the party and protect the privacy of the citizen. In our view, also the mobile application, also certified mobile application that we call setup, should become secure processing environment. This is necessary because the people already uses the mobile app. We need to certify them. We need to say to the citizen what are the mobile applications they can trust. And that's all, I guess. It was the last slide, just to check. No, there is some other little kink. But I've already mentioned this previously. We have this conformance level that define a process and a list of rules that could help to certify the mobile application. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you, Francesco.